Oh, right. I was supposed to finish a video. Okay. So, Jewish person that accepts Jesus is now allowed to eat. Ask a ask a Christian. That's evangelizing, not any Christian. That's trying to make you believe. And by the way, this is not by itself. The problem is if you make the argument that I'm making here, they can say, you're worried more about your whether it does this or that than you are whether it's true. No. That's a legit thing too. But the problem is, most of us don't want to deconvert you from Christianity. I can absolutely make a solid case, sorry, that Jesus is not the Messiah or Yezu or whatever. I want to just call him Yezu. That's what I've always called him. Because from a historical standpoint, that's what we called him. But too often the Christian says, who's that? And I'm like, oh, shit. Back to the beginning. Start over. Oh, shit. Out of gas. So. Is the Jewish person allowed to do things that any goy can do? Just in case you thought that was a slur, it's not a slur. Goy simply means somebody who's not Jewish. There's no negative connotation to it. And we're not going to, and just because anti-Semites have gone around lying, saying that there's something wrong with the word goy, we're not going to stop saying it because it's actually the most benign thing we could possibly say. There is no other word in Hebrew that's more benign and accurately descriptive. It just means, literally, it just means the nations, or the with asterisks of the other nations. I think in ancient Hebrew we even used the word goy to describe our nation, and we knew in the context of how it was used. I'd have to look that up. There's a caveat to that. There's an asterisk to that. I don't remember what it is. It's been a while, but it's not a slur. Never will be. All right. And if anybody ever used it as one, that's on them. That's not linguistically accurate. Okay, so he's allowed to do anything that a non-Jew is allowed to do, according to what you call the Bible. And that includes marry a Gentile woman. That means his kids will not be Jewish. That means he doesn't have to teach them Jewish law, Jewish tradition. The Christian will say, well, he can. It's not enough. His national duties are defunct. There are sects of Messianic Jews. I use air quotes because most of these people are not Jewish, halakhically, and I'm sorry, you don't get to change Jewish law. We don't get to change Jewish law. Nobody gets to change Jewish law. One of the reasons we dismissed Yesu, because he doesn't get to change Jewish law either. The Messiah does not get to change Jewish law. That's how you know a fake Messiah on his face, among other ways. The other one is he died and didn't rebuild the temple. That's the other way. Sorry, Lubavitchers, the ones that, certain ones of you, you know who I mean. Some of them are some of these particular ones are my friends. God bless them. But anyway, so that's it. That's why it's the destruction of our nation. Our people will no longer be duty bound. So if he or she, and the woman isn't much better, because if she gets a Gentile husband, sure, the kids are technically Jewish, but what are the chances that their grandchildren are going to be Jewish, much less their great-grandchildren? That's the death of our people. Now, we don't have to worry about that happening en masse, because any Jewish person who knows their Hebrew, they can read the Torah as it's written, not as some translator that didn't know the language said, then it's the ignorant, it's the Jewish people who are ignorant that we're worried about when they evangelize us. You will never see an Orthodox Jew. You might have one or two in the entire history of this so-called Messianic movement, but at best, somebody disgruntled that is doing this as a fuck you to their family or their community or whatever. They don't, people who are raised in it know better than to debate. The ones that debate, always seculars, raised, maybe set foot in a synagogue 5 times in their entire childhood and adolescence, or less than that. Never someone who went to yeshiva. So that's why. That's the main motivator as the no, this is not okay. That and the fact that it's not true.